All right. So our first step, we're going to start with the background, starting with the sky. I think I would kind of like this to be kind of dawn or sunset. Maybe sunset since it's old. It'll kind of give you the sensation, you know, that it's older. Yeah. Yeah, I think I like that. So let's just, I think I'll use a filbert. I'll tell you what, before we roll that out a little bit too much farther. I'm not really happy with this liquid clear that I've got made up, so I'm going to just use some linseed oil. We're gonna re-wet this canvas. I don't like the consistency of that. What did I do with those cups? All right, hang on. I only got more cups. All right. New cup. I think we'll just use straight linseed oil for this. Let's try not to spill it. Now this is going to make the canvas. It's really slick, so we're going to have to wipe it back pretty good. Now this is not liquid clear, this is just pure linseed oil. Refined linseed oil. Alright, that ought to do it. I want this paint to pretty much blend really, really smoothly today, so. All right. Now, at this point, I'm going to kind of abandon using come to me in a minute. Odorless mineral spirits. And I'm going to be using baby oil to clean my brushes for the rest of this painting on out. So I have this nice little container for my baby oil. It has a little scrub rack down in the bottom of it. So you can see here, you can see the little scrub rack in the bottom maybe. Let me tip it enough that you can see. There you go. It's just got some baby oil in there. Now I'm not going to take the baby oil to the canvas, but I do want to use it to clean my brushes if and when I need to clean my brushes. All right, so let's put the linseed oil away. Let's tap this yellow. So this is Gamblin 1980 that I'm about to put on here. Now I'm going to start with the yellow kind of, let's see, maybe like right here. You'll see I'm holding the brush way back here because I just want to glaze this yellow on. Let that back kind of come through. Let that background kind of, you know, all of this underpainting kind of shine through. We don't want to cover that up. We want to cover all that nice work up. Now, even if you do cover it, it'll give you a different bunch of tones and stuff in your coloring. So that's pretty good, but, you know, just for the sake of prettiness. But that tone will give you some movement as well. So now I'm going to pull out some Cad Orange, But I'm not going to use too much of that. And I'm not going to clean the brush out either. And actually, I think before I do that, I'm going to go with a little bit of alizarin crimson. So I've got just a touch of alizarin crimson on the end of the brush. I'm going to go up here to the corners, first of all. Scrub that in. Well, I'll scrub it, but you know, glaze it on there. Let it kind of mix with some of that yellow. Now, in this kind of glazing, you're using very little paint. Switching, put my finger on top of the brush because I'm trying to just pick up a little more control. Over here, I want less control, but over there, I want more control, a little bit. I haven't quite decided exactly how much control. All right, let's pick up just a little bit of this orange with that. Now, when I start to blend this, you're going to notice that I'm going to start down in the yellow and work my way up. Kind of sizing my color a little bit, sizing it up. Of course, it's all not going to stay right there where it is because when you start blending, it's going to move around a little bit, maybe. Maybe not. I can't tell where we're going to go with it. I don't mean that from the paint's perspective. I mean it from my perspective. You know, I kind of see where it wants to go, and then I just kind of go that way rather than try to take it some way that I want it to go. The paint doesn't feel like it wants to go that way. Now, for some of you, as artists, that might not make any sense to you. Some of you, it will. I carry that kind of mental attitude over from from writing novels. I'm a novelist. So, you know, all right, I'm kind of happy with that. Okay, so we're going to go into, now, what we're going to do before we put this in the baby oil, we're going to get a paper towel. I really just wish I hadn't wiped that on there, but I will use it anyway. We get a paper towel. We're going to wipe as much paint out of the brush as we can. All right, and we'll just give it a little scrub. The baby oil. Wipe it off. And wipe it out. And as you can see, nice and clean. So that's good. I'm going to move this baby oil back up because my palette is sitting right on the edge. So I'm going to move that over the inside. Okay, let's do some blending. I think I'll blend with the fan brush. And I'm going to start down here and just kind of work my way up into the sky after doing the bottom. So we're going from the lighter to the dark, so we don't bring that dark down into the sky. There you go. How's that look to you? Now, I'm going to clean the fan brush the same way. I'm just going to wipe it out. Shouldn't be too much paint. Actually, I don't even know if I need to clean that really. I just kind of wipe it out on a paper towel. Make sure when I'm done, I clean the brush, because sometimes I forget. Then I get to do a nice restoration, which makes me crazy. Okay, let's... All right, let's think about this now. Oh, I think maybe we could put a couple of clouds in the sky. We'll switch to another fan brush. Another filbert. And I got some white over here. I don't want a lot of clouds. I just want a couple little floaters. And again, I'm using, here we go. Okay. All right. Don't have a paper towel left. So. All right, now we can fold this up and actually use it for a little while, hopefully. All right. So we're just going to do the same thing. Going to wipe the paint out of this. And then just wipe the big oil out. We'll be putting this one up because we don't really need it right now. Now, I do want to come back though and blend these clouds. I don't want them to really be standing out too much on the... So I'm going to go underneath of them just a little bit just to blend them, the base of them, with the rest of the sky. Fluff them up a little bit, not too much. All right, there we go. What do you think? I think I just automatically put that in the cleaner. So I have to change fan brushes now. All right, well, maybe not. Maybe I can clean it out. Let's see. Just go through another paper towel. All right, we'll be all right with that, I think. Use the baby wipe just to clean my hand off. Paint on my fingers. All right, let's start thinking about all of this ground part, and we get some bushes pushed up back here in the bag. So let's get some. I'm not venture to say I did some of that with a fan brush, so let's kind of stick to that though. Let's go to a small fan brush. I'm gonna pick up some sap green, and we'll slap a little phthalo blue into that. Let's make it a little darker. Not too dark, but dark enough. Put a bit of yellow in with that too. All right, a little more phthalo blue to bring it back darker again, but with some of that yellow in it. And that's a little too blue, so a little more yellow. All right, let's push some of this up. Well, some of that I might have to come back and push it back up again because we got some landscape under that, and that's okay because we still got to put the highlights and stuff in, right? So that's okay. All right, now let's add a little more yellow to this. So I'm just going to use up the rest of that yellow. I'd probably rather do this with a filbert, but So I might paint right up on the truck because I don't want to create a halo, but we'll take that back off in a little while with a Q-tip if we need to. All right. Now we're going to move our brush strokes down a little bit. We want this to kind of be going downhill like that. Now you'll notice I did not redo the brush, but some of the places the green is a little darker and some places the green is a little lighter. That's okay. That's fine. It has to do with the bearing down of the brush. Some of that will smooth back out with some of that will, like for right here, this is really that's too slanted, so let's just push it up a little bit. We're going to add some dark to a little more dark to this in a little bit. This is really kind of the mid-tone we're picking up from the grasslands. We'll make some more dark up in here. Because with the sun over there, there's going to be a shadow on this side, right? So we have some of that accounted for, but some of it we don't. We'll darken some of the shadow in a minute, but let's just, for now, I'll just put it in here. You can see over here where we've underpainted the shadows that, you know, the brown really pushes it on down in there pretty good. So. All right, so then we're going to add some more blue to this green. Start to darken some of this up. Being relatively loose with the brush at the moment. Some of that, some of this, some of that. All right. The tree right there, a little bush or something. This is moving along pretty okay. I'm pretty happy with this. All right, now we're going to blend. I'm going to take a lot of that brush stroke and stuff out of there, but we're going to blend from the top down. And then we'll add a couple of shadows probably, and then we'll add some highlight. God darn it. I used that. All right. I used that Mineral Spirits again. All right. Don't do it, Benjamin. Okay. All right. Let's just wipe this out now. There we go. Okay, that's got us started. We're gonna let that paint sit for just a bit. We're gonna take some of this paint back off of this Bronco. Off of the Scout. All right, so right there is a window set. So we're gonna wanna get our green color back up in there. So we'll do that in a second. Right here where you're looking through the window, right? I'll make sure we put that and the highlight when we put the highlight on. Over here. Okay, there we go. Put a little them over there. All right, there we go. I think that's pretty much okay. So I'll set those Q-tips aside for a moment. And let's pick up. All right, that's a little greener than I wanted. So let's just move some of this up a little bit farther. Really wasn't happy with that green right there anyway, but that's okay. It wasn't quite as green as I wanted. We're going to add some more highlights and stuff here in a second anyway. All right, I'm about to give up on this baby oil because I keep forgetting to do it. Keep forgetting to use it. So maybe I'll just switch over. I don't care which one I use as long as I'm consistent, and I'm not being very consistent at the moment. So, all right, let's blend this again. I have a feeling it's going to be a little too much paint right there, but we'll find out. If there is, we'll just take it off. It's no big deal. Now, I am trying to avoid getting on this extra white spot here on this windowsill. On this windshield, because it's going to be really super shiny white, and I don't want to have to try to overlay that with a dark, after it's had a really dark color on it. Now, if I have to, I can let that dry and then paint the white highlights in. And we might do that. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. We're a long way away from that. All right. Let's get this. If I can only tell you guys how many Q-tips I have to pick up off the floor every week when I do my studio cleaning. Even when I think I don't drop very many, I still drop a bunch. All right. Now, some of you know, I work with a little bit of a handicap. Most of my students are handicapped, but I'm handicapped as well. But I had a stroke when I was 22, and so I had some problems with my arm. But that doesn't slow me down too much. Actually, it doesn't slow me down at all. I got a torn rotator cuff. That slows me down. Ugh. All right, so let's carry on here with this. Enough of that. All right, that's looking pretty good. Now, I do want to take a little bit more of that green out of there. There we go. Because we're gonna have to eventually put like some upholstery back up in there. So, well, I don't know if that's actually upholstery. Upholstery's over there, but we'll see. I don't care too much about it being on the tires, although I could take some off of that tire, I guess. All right, let's just do, because we're gonna really darken these tires stuff up. All right, now let's start putting some highlight on. Let's get first of all, let's figure out what we want the highlight to be. I think what we'll do is we will use some of this Gambling CAD light, but that's not all. I think we'll throw in a little bit of this Winton CAD dark, or whatever they call that. There's so many things, so many different things they call. And let's get a little bit of yellow ochre, maybe. I'll handle that on the palette. All right. So I just kind of want to mix up the grass textures a little bit. Okay. All right. I'm going to use a 1-inch brush for this. I think it will go quite well with that. We'll see. It's going to be a little tight over here, but we can work with that, I think. So we're going to mix the two darker yellows first. And let's start like up here. So we kind of pulled the brush into a, no, we haven't. Well, we meant to. All right, let's pull it down. There we go. There we go. See, we kind of pulled it to an edge. And like I say, it's kind of tight right there. Plus, we're picking up some of that green as well as we're moving. And it's kind of okay because I want it to kind of be on those shadows. Besides, that's way too much green, all in that landscape. So that's way too much green. All right, let's pick up some more yellow. And I don't think that's really gonna. I may have to wipe some of that color out. So now I'm just wiping it off on a shop towel, seeing if I can't. Little highlight there. We don't need that highlight everywhere, but sort of need it over in this area. All right, let's wipe the brush out again. I'm going to carry this all the way around if I can, because I want it to get gradually darker and darker and darker back over in here. All right, that looks pretty good. All right. So we're going to darken this up some more before we're done. I'm going to paint over this tree because I want that background. I want that grass to show up in the background. And we're just going to carry this on over like this for now. And kind of insinuate that there's some stuff right there. All right. Now, I'm going to clean the brush. I'm actually going to clean the brush this time. I'm going to wipe it dry. We're going to have to clean this truck off. But before we do that, let's pick up some CAD. Let's go ahead and do this part right here. All right. You can see how much of that green we picked up doing that, just that little bit right there. So, all right, pick up some more. Stick some of this yellow. Let's insinuate some trees back that way a little bit without actually putting any in there. All right. Okay. So you guys tell me, those of you who are watching, when we're covering stuff like we're doing these large areas like this, do you prefer to see the whole thing? Or would you like to have it sped up without any instruction? I can speed it up without, well, speed up like a particular part of the video. So you think about that and let me know. This is y'all's channel. I just happen to be the moderator. All right. And I did just notice that, I don't know why, it could have just been, but there's a lot of fine line on this vehicle done with the script liner. And I noticed that on one of the fine lines up here toward the front, the shadow is backwards. So I'll just turn it around when I get over that part. When I get around to doing that part. It's no big deal. You can change the underpainting. You can change the top layer without changing, you know. We did one whole painting on that with, it's called When Dawn. The city, with the city and the arch and all that stuff. So if you guys go watch that video, you can see what it's like to turn the whole darn thing around when it's backwards. Shadow is good. All right. The shadows were good. They just, well, actually what happened, the shadows were fine. When I got ready to start painting it, I wanted the sun to be someplace else. And that screwed up all the shadows. So, good thing about being the artist, though, is you can change your mind. The viewer can't change their mind, but you can change your mind. All right. Okay, so we're about ready to start working on this guy. Now, I'm not going to worry about putting the rest of these bushes in right here, and I'm not going to worry just yet about putting in the rest of the shadows at this point, I don't think. So, now, at this point, you can make up your mind if you want to let that dry and then come back, because you don't have to blend any of these colors. None of these colors anyway. So I think what I'm going to So I think what I'm going to do is rather than rush this along, I'm gonna do a little bit of the fine line work, and then I'm gonna do some of the really darker work, and then I'm gonna let this sit and dry till tomorrow, and then I can finish it up. Okay. I'm just kind of blending this with a Q-tip right there. All right. Okay, so let's do some fine line work. Now, the fine line work, some of this fine line work is going to be done in black. I'll be using Gamblin 1980. Let's clean. Use some Gamblin 1980 ivory black. It's a really nice black. There's a lot of dark on this Jeep, and so we'll be kind of going back and forth between some grays, or maybe even some Payne's gray, and some black. I think I'd like to try some of that Payne's gray in here. So I'm going to start off with some of the easier darks, I guess. So let's switch to an angle brush. I don't know. I'm kind of like, now I'm beginning to second guess myself as maybe I should go ahead and I'll tell you what. So let's go ahead and put some color on here. Let's put some color on this Jeep. On the Jeep. It's not a Jeep, but no matter what I call it, you guys know what I'm talking about. I'm gonna make a custom color for this because I don't have a color that's exactly right. So let's get some phthalo blue and some of this blue. Now this is even though the color that's you're about to see is a custom color that I just made up, but we're gonna try this. So I'm kind of looking backwards over my shoulder toward the reference folder. So let's go ahead and I think I want to pull it. There we go. So I'm trying to turn this and pull it all the way down the door so that I don't have brush marks. I'm hoping I don't have to mix up this color. If I start to run out of this color, I will begin to add more color to the pile. But I only need it on this one side, I think. Right? Yeah. All right. All right. So I'm actually just lightening this color just a little bit. At the top, not at the bottom. But I have to keep refreshing it because I'm picking up the color underneath. All right, let's blend some of that. I'm just cleaning this brush out. All right. Okay, now that right there, I think I painted that the wrong color. So we're going to fix it real quick. This front fender is not the same blue as the body. And all of this top part's going to be rusted, so there we go. So that's just a mistake. Happy little accident. I mean, a happy little accident because we erased it. All right. Now, let's add some of the darks to that. And I'll tell you what, I'm wondering if we should add the fine line first. Maybe we should add the fine line now. Let's give it a try. Let's add a little bit of fine line and see how it looks. So we got all right, I think I could use a little more dark. So if you're wanting, I'm using an angle brush. I could switch to a script liner here in a minute if I can't get what I want to do. Oh, you know what? Maybe if I was using the right color, that would be helpful. All right, let's try it again. It was Payne's Gray, and although that worked good, it wasn't dark enough for what I wanted it to be. All right, there we go. Back to the Payne's Gray this time, though. We're going to use this to paint this wheel well in. And then we'll use the black on the tires. So this is like the shadow, and then the sub-shadow. We'll do the same thing back here in the back. All right. So I'm switching back and forth between Payne's Gray and Ivory Black for these fine line work. And I'm kind of moving around where I'm painting as to what is kind of convenient at the moment. So kind of touching this up. These are just the seams on the car. I think I'll turn this upside down to paint this part. I'm trying to pull this brush as small and thin as I can get it to stay. And that worked out pretty good, that one anyway. Let's carry on. Now, as I get further down, you're going to start running out of paint. And so there's a tendency to want to push on the brush harder to squeeze the last little bit of paint out. And that will give you a wider line, and that's not what you want. So don't do that. Like I did right there. Don't do that. Don't be like Ben. All right. Okay. Now we're going to darken these tires. So this black, and I think you guys will be able to see the difference between that and the Payne's gray. I don't know if you'll be able to see it on video or not. Hopefully you can. Now remember, if you want round things to look round in your painting, you need to paint them oval. Otherwise, they're not going to look brown. I mean round. They're not going to look brown either. All right. Crap. I need a little bit of color. I just need a little bit of lighter color. There we go. Right here, we're just going to paint this in. Now, in the original photograph I have of this wheel is white, but I'm going to make it a little artistic license here. Make it a little more blue instead of white, just to match up with the vehicle. All right. Needless to say, these tires are flat. All right, so let's use that same color, that same bluey looking color. I'm going to let it mix with that black a little bit, kind of blend out. Okay. And now let's close the hub right there, that little hub. All right. So I think without getting too much into, I'm going to do that Q-tip. Guess I'll put it away. All right, so we've got a little bit of blue up here we don't want. We're going to get that off. Now, these fine lines, if you go over them just lightly, I'm going to do it with a filbert because I'm pretty handy with a filbert, pretty much. You can kind of blend them into the painting, and it looks really nice when you do that. Just lightly pushing down. If you carry some color with you, that's okay. Just clean it back off with a Q-tip. All right, let's do a little bit more fine line. And And then let's stop here and we'll do the rest tomorrow. When this is a little bit drier, we don't have to force it. We don't want to force it. There's no sense in forcing it because then you just get to do it over again. So, you know, just don't. Let's just fixing that right there. Okay, there's another, hidden in the grass here, there's another fine line right here. So we'll pick it up in this stage, and then we'll fix it with some grass and stuff later. There's some more. All right, close it up. So since I'm loading the brush with such a small amount of paint, I'm having to go back and reload quite a bit. That's okay. What are you in a hurry for? Right? Now there is some script liner work right there in the IH on this truck. Where it's a little hood decal, but we'll do that at a later time. There we go. All right. I think we'll try to finish the front here, and then we'll call it quits. These round things are very hard to paint with this angle brush. So let me switch to a script liner in a second. I don't like the way this goes on. That one came out okay. Let's try it. Well, let's finish the grill. Got just one headlight left. Outside first. See, when you're trying to make that turn, the angle brush wants to split apart. So it's a little tricky. The answer to that trick is just load it full of paint and just only go as far as it wants to go before it tries to splay. And then just pull it back. There we go. All right. All right. Paint's gray. All right. Now I think without hurting too much, we can add a little bit more shadow into this right on this side before we stop. So let's do that. I'll use a filbert for that. And I'll just pick up some of this black and some of this gray, I think. Yeah, no, it's not wanting to go on there. All right, so let's see. Let's go with the paint. This paint's gray and see if paint's gray will come on there. All right. Yeah, let's let that sit. All right. So there we go. Got to start. We'll come back tomorrow. We'll add some highlights and stuff to this. We'll tell you what, before we quit. I'm sorry, y'all. All right, before we quit, I got some of this. I already got some of this on the thing, so let's just do this. Let's do some things. Let's do some other things. Let's get a little bit of this orange. And let's go ahead and start adding some of this rusty color in. This is cat orange. Actually, this color might be a little bit light for this hood. I'm sorry, y'all. I just can't stop. I just going to keep going. I'm sorry. Just a little bit farther. All right. So let's go ahead and add some dark to that. Let's get some. I'm going to add some darker patches of rust and then some highlights to that, probably. Unless I stop, which I haven't so far. It's looking pretty rusty. All right. I am going to stop right there. Maybe. I can't think of anything else I have to. I was worried that I'm going to have to blend this, and you know, I've pretty much already done that now. So the rest of this is all detail work, and I can mix the colors. These colors are fairly easy to pull together without a whole lot of bother, maybe. I don't really like the way that came out. So we're going to take some of this off and leave some of it on. Oh. Then we'll blend it. And we'll put the color back on. All right, now let's just do a little bit of light blending. And I promise you this time, I'm going to stop, maybe, hopefully. All right, so we're going to stop for here for now. My arm's kind of worn out anyway. So hope you guys are enjoying this so far. We'll see what happens on the next session. Bye.